Speaking of which, we just had like a blizzard like a couple days ago, and it's killing transit here.
Seriously, I was thinking about you today. So it's people are panicking where we are. It's about 58 degrees sometimes. People are afraid, and then I'm like, shit, man. Like Jim and how cold does it get around your house, Jim?
It's like never lower than 60. Here.
That's because of the fires. You're surrounded.
No. It's maybe 1 or 2 days a year it'll dip down into the 50s, but otherwise it's like 360 days a year. It's like 65 to 75.
Where are you at?
I live in LA. I live right outside Santa Monica. So
oh yeah, of course. That's that Southern California weather.
Yep.
It's a dream to get out there someday.
I picture when Jim's not with us and we're not in the middle of a game that Jim is just like roller skating on a boardwalk somewhere, just like having a good time.
Yeah, that's me.
The Beach Boys playing.
How'd you guess?
Oh man, good. So how cold does it get about this time of year? Rivers in Portland, what is it like 10 degrees or something?
In about a week or two, it's gonna get down into the 20s, 22s.
Sounds beautiful. But one of my coworkers had to dig himself out of his garage the other day. He sent me a picture, and it was like waist deep snow. He's up around Colorado somewhere. I think we're live. It's safe to say, damn it, we're live. We got some of our usual preamble out of the way. We talked about what happened to Eric.
I'm here.
Did you disconnect and join again? Because now you've messed up.
No, same. Oh wait.
Oh yeah.
Nope, not same position.
Nope. Let's decide on a few other things that might have happened to Corbin's beehole.
No, I just turned the camera off for a second. I was dealing with something.
You should be able to do that though.
See, I'm here.
You had to have.
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm here.
I think it prioritizes cameras to the top.
No, that's shit.
Oh, does it mess things up?
It shouldn't.
This is going to turn into like a stream on how to use Zoom.
Oh wow, yeah, I'm in the wrong place.
I know. You know where I'm putting you?
Okay.
I'm going to put you right over here, so this thing can climb in your beehole.
That's what it should just be. Our little cameras
All right.
as character pieces.
Yeah.
Move around.
That would be.
That would be cool.
That would be pretty cool. If only that. Okay, so everybody's in their spot now.
So
yeah.
Pausing the video messes up the layout.
Why don't you try it? Pause it real quick.
It should be fine now since you're lowest of the video order on mine at least.
Well, so John, why don't you try?
Okay.
Welcome to the How to Use Zoom
really
stream.
Mess everything up.
I know.
Here we go.
Yep, he's right. Turn it back on, John, quick. Now you.
Oh yeah, wow. Okay.
Now, John, since you're in Corbin's spot,
It
let's
did
talk
mess it
about
up.
let's talk about what happens to your.
Nope. I'm still Gushwind.
All right, fine. So how was everybody's Thanksgiving? We haven't talked. I was thinking of Unter Wagner on Thanksgiving.
I was not. I had no thoughts of him at all.
Don't ruin my Thanksgiving after the fact.
Really, you're not gonna get that?
Oh wait, shit! What am I doing?
Tattooed on your arm? I mean, you could just add a little gravy and it'd be perfect.
It would require a shit ton of gravy.
Yeah. They don't walk around the house talking like, "Give me a fucking turkey." But since I'm the one that cooks, I was just talking to myself and it got real weird. Yeah, that pinup is a little disturbing with the thing that Nedley did.
You say a little disturbing.
Yeah, a little.
It's not as quite as gross as I have it in my head. Or there's no glistening and there's no like stuff falling out of the folds or anything. You know.
Yeah, you should really try to sculpt it.
Okay. I should. So fun facts.
Turkey, that would just be suitable.
Fun facts about Thanksgiving while I'm getting us some music. James Grimwald Brom. Something cool that happened over the holiday. What game did you murder?
I picked up Horizon Zero Dawn, but I haven't played it yet.
Oh, it's so good.
It's good.
So everybody's like, it's good. This is the first time you've ever been, the one to not have played the game. So that's. So for those of you watching, apologize for James's audio. Corbin was so late that it broke. It broke James's audio.
Hate when that happens.
We're going with some defaults.
See, that's some power there. I can be late and mess everybody up.
You are powerful. I said that. Speaking of which, Corbin, our resident artist and chef, how was your Thanksgiving? And tell me something cool that happened now that I've turned the scary music on.
Well, it started off not so good because I took the entire week off to spend with the family since the kids had off of school and everybody was sick. So,
what kind of sick? Were they snot or shit?
Like colds and headaches and fevers and chills and stuff like that. So everybody stayed home sick, and I went back to work to not burn vacation days because I wasn't sick.
So you left them in their time of need. You're like, "Fuck you guys, I'm going to work." Here's some
Pretty
NyQuil.
much, yeah. No, Susan was getting better, and I pretty much said, "Look, guys, if we're just gonna sit around the house so you guys can, chill, I'm gonna go back to work because I'm not gonna sit here on my butt and burn vacation days for nothing."
Yeah.
And everybody was okay with that, so that's what I did. Made up for it on the weekend by going to check out Galaxy's Edge, though. After Thanksgiving.
Oh, nice. How'd you like it?
It's pretty cool.
Did you buy
I think
me
they
something?
did a great job with it. Do what?
Did you buy me something?
No, I didn't buy you something. Am I supposed to buy you something?
So now I have to move people around again.
I did drink the green milk.
What?
I drank the green milk.
Do you have the blue as well?
The kids had the blue.
Oh, in the cantina.
Did you try?
I did try it, yes.
Which one did you prefer?
I actually preferred the green.
Really? Okay.
Yes, the kids prefer the blue.
I'm not telling my fiance that.
My wife didn't like either.
Oh, okay. I prefer the blue. I keep calling my fiance just wrong for liking the green, but
Yeah, there's nothing cool about green milk.
Soiling green is people. You gotta keep that in mind.
it's true. Especially Star Wars universe, who knows what that is?
Yeah,
You saw where
Star
the blue
Wars
milk
is like-
came from. Just imagine where the green milk comes from.
No, other way around. You saw where the green milk comes from.
Unfortunately, it's not actually milk.
Oh,
It's
is it green?
blue because they got it from Smurfs, but I'm not gonna tell you how.
It's Smurf milk.
Mark Hamill said that that what he drank in the movie for the blue milk was the most disgusting thing he had ever had.
I'm having to move people all over the place. What the fuck? I think we should just sit here and drink. I have plenty of whiskey, and we'll play weird Brady Bunch heads.
I can go find the rum. I don't have any whiskey.
I think what we're gonna do, I'm gonna have Myth Brigade branded socks made, right? And I'm gonna send you each one. And when you want to turn your video off, you put your little sock over the camera. And don't turn it off.
Okay, so then that means Myth Brigade has to be printed on the inside, and it has to have a little light so that when we put it over the camera, it can be seen.
What kind of sock have you ever seen that's got a light, Eric?
I
That's a great idea,
have not. That's I'm just saying.
It'd be great to see your way to the bathroom at night if you had lights on.
Well, I'm thinking it's a camera sock, not a sock I would wear.
I'm sure
yes.
you could do. I'm sure you could do like pantyhose and make your own pop filter out of like the little emblem.
Actually, pantyhose work great for air filters for computers.
Oh my God! How did we get on this topic? Did I do this? Did I do this?
I have so many questions, but I'm not going to ask.
What we need is like a monthly podcast where we just get it and we don't, we just get on the Zoom and talk about weird shit to do with gaming. But wait, that sounds familiar. Speaking of which, John from Slightly Salted Squad, how was your Thanksgiving? Something cool happen?
It was good. Sometime around then I finished Death Stranding and then beat Jedi Fallen Order I think following weekend. So
nice.
Yeah, it's been lots of good games and lots of good food. I think I'm still eating ham leftovers. We made a full ham for 4 people, so I had a lot left over. But
I found it's amazing all the weird shit you can make out of Thanksgiving leftovers. We had all that. Rivers, what about you, man? How's your drive going? By the way, he's not driving. There's somebody else driving. He's on transit.
So I didn't really do too much for Thanksgiving. I mean, I did like a little cook thing for my roommates, although one's a native and the other one, well, doesn't celebrate any like Americana-based holidays, which is weird, but it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I did what I could, spend some time with that because I don't really have family up here, so I didn't do anything extravagant.
I would have FedExed you some turkey leftovers. That would have given me a solution for about 10
God,
minutes.
no, I'm very good. Currently, I'm experiencing Nurgle's rot, so you know.
Is that the exit or the like the Nurgle's like the stomach thing?
It's more like I can't even it's more like I can't even like eat or breathe or walk or talk or
But
whatever.
you're not trusting a sneeze at this point, is what you're telling us. You're not gonna. John, I didn't know what you were doing, man. You in the frame.
Boy, this looks weird.
A little bit.
Does not look family friendly.
There we go.
Which is great because I prefer it's not.
That's way better.
Speaking of not family friendly, Jim, what's going on, man? How was your Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving was good. It was very chill. It was just my wife and I, so we went out to a restaurant in LA, and it does like a big Thanksgiving dinner, and it's kind of, it's like all nomads out here, so pretty big community for it, which was cool. Other than that, it was just nice and chill, and that's it. Low key, which is how I like it.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Much better than traveling cross country to do family shit.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, I hung out at the beach, and I took, because it was supposed to be cold, so I took, Florida cold. So I took Florida cold clothes, and it turned out to be Florida hot. But yeah, it was really cool.
So I saw the bacon wrapped turkey. Is that your work?
Yes.
Nice. How'd it
Bacon
turn
wrapped
out?
turkey, and you shove some in its ass, and you shove some down its neck, and you put some butter, and you cook it for a real long time. It was very good actually. And then I made bratwurst tartare on accident. Don't do that.
That sounds less good.
Nope.
Yeah.
It wasn't. No. You take a bite out of that, you realize very quickly what bratwurst is made out of. When you okay, well, actually, we wanted to talk a little bit about improvements. So I have to get my phone real quick. I have to read something. This is too epic to not share on the stream. So earlier, Jim and I were talking because we've been sort of trying to sort out his character path, and this is so good. Yeah. So he says, we were talking about Bartleby's demeanor, and he says, well, I mean, Bartleby has never left his relatively cozy dock job, and the first time he ventures out, it's the all-nude mutant review. That's
All mutant review.
the
Yeah.
all mutant review. That is the quote. That is fantastic. But yeah, so let's talk for a second about the improvement system. So, we've been playing the game system for a while. A lot of us are D&D nerds and have played other game systems. What do you guys think about the improvements? Right, wrong, and different. What out in the chat, you guys played Warhammer Fantasy. What do you think of the improvement system in this? Let's start with Jim because he has an opinion.
Oh,
Yeah.
This is when we get banned by Twitch. So yeah, I mean, I feel like the system is a lot of complexity for complexity's sake. And granted, I'm having fun playing with you guys, and like I'm having fun with the campaign, but I feel like the rules are in the way a lot, and the learning curve is pretty steep. So I'm not super happy with it, but I'm happy with the game.
Nice. Yeah, I kind of felt the same way, to be honest. I think the improvement system's a little heavy. Did you guys have all been through? Who's leveled your character? Anyone?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have. I've leveled it pretty extensively and spent pretty much everything except for that last 75.
Nice. What do you guys think overall, John and James? Because I know you're a first timer to the system as well.
Yeah, it was interesting. I feel like I had to reread things a bunch of times to make sure I was doing it correctly. I think I'm not positive I still did it correctly, but
who's watching, right?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think I wish there was a little more, I don't know, reward for it, I guess. Like in D&D, for example, when I level up and I get like noticeable new skills or something like that, I feel like it's actually a real improvement. I get that my roll chances are better now and things like that, but I feel like it's less rewarding.
Yeah, the growing in power fantasy is just not there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hope Cubicle 7's watching. I know they always do. James, what do you think, man? I know you like complexity, though, right? You're like that guy.
The class and career system seems a little restrictive sometimes, and there's a lot of careers classes that are like you don't start out with something that's useful as far as like most combat stuff.
I think, the one thing about that is we were talking about this earlier, Jim, was if you go with the suggestion of randomization, that's where it gets tricky. If you choose a class that you're into, then you pretty much develop skills and buy talents and things like that, and it almost feels like a more classic role-playing game, right? But I definitely take the point that, I mean, who doesn't like to start out as like a stable hand, and get a big fistful of shit and throw it at bad guys and... John
Except
says
you don't start with a fistful of shit, and
Yes.
there's not a fistful of shit to be found.
John, put your sock over your camera. Okay, he's got it.
No, I'm just leaving it alive.
We've been having all kinds of fantastic fun and technical difficulty. So before we start, so next Tuesday at 9 Eastern, we've got a different group of folks getting together to play the first edition of our Cult Beneath These Streets campaign. It's a horror campaign. It's incredibly dark, fairly twisted, and the players are fairly dark and twisted. Pretty excited about that, so join in. Also, for those of you who are interested, you should check out YouTube / Myth Brigade. You can find some rules tutorials, episodes of this stream, and all kinds of other shit there. We would love it if you would subscribe, because subscribers make us more powerful, or we have enough power that we can
Jason, I think we lost your audio again.
No, it's just being quiet, I think. I think there's a noise gate on there. Eric, what do you...
Yeah.
Whoop.
Oh, go ahead. I was going to say a spiel about the experience system.
Well, spiel it away, man. Spiel us.
So I do agree that it is complex for complexity's sake, but it's derived from like old complex games like AD&D and your kind of OSR kind of things, but a little bit more heavy. It almost feels like a third edition kind of experience, almost, where you have so many things that you can do. But yeah, a part of your problem that you're going to experience that most classes will in their later stages, when they get like around 500 experience, they will start to acquire combat abilities. But oftentimes, if your game is combat focused, you would change into a career, because usually every class, or it's like whatever, has a combat class in it. Like for instance, I lucked out and got the engineer, and eventually, like, I'll be so good at shooting stuff that I'll never miss.
Pew pew.
And it really is to the point, like, it's not, there's not enough reward almost for the players. I do feel that.
Yeah.
But a lot of that comes from, you have to build the legend that you want to become. You know, not every it's a different type of game for a different type of group. Like, if you're gonna want to be like this is why I think Blades would be excellent for someone like Jim, or like even John. Like, you get that instant gratification of, like, doesn't matter if you're bad, because like that's how you get better.
Yeah. So Eric, real quick, let me, if I could ever just cut you off, just because we're watching the time and we're an hour, or you got an hour and a half left. Eric, real quick from you, man. What about you? What do you think about the advancement stuff in Warhammer?
For somebody who's not used to it, it's a bit of a challenge, because it's difficult to tell whether you should change careers into something that's a little more combat oriented, because traditionally a lot of role-playing games do develop the story with a certain amount of combat. Right. And or do you go along with something that feels more realistic in terms of role-playing and better the character in the profession he's already in before you branch out? That's
really cool. So I think that from a role-playing perspective, I think you kind of have to. I think that, if you, for example, if your halfling were to move from the artist career into something combat or sort of rogue oriented, right? I think that at some level you would still want to have a throwback to that artist tendency. He's talking to the gods again. She's just like looking up into space talking.
Yes, more like the minions.
Yeah, it's fine. We all have them.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, as a messenger, that's kind of something I was thinking about. I was like, I started as a messenger, it makes sense for the story and my role playing and everything like that. But now at the point we're about to go into like a crypt and stuff, I'm like thinking as a messenger, I'm like, man, I should really get better at combat.
Yeah, exactly. One last
because as an artist, my natural inclination would be to not go into a crypt where there's likely going to be dangerous things.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I have no weapon skills.
The beauty of the story is that you have no choice, right? Is that none of you should want to go into a crypt before your time, right? Which is a great segue, I think. Rivers, I know you're probably another 15, 20 minutes out or something, so we're going to have to do this.
I'm more or less like 15 minutes. So.
Okay. So, the tricky part here is, I love the fire you drew. That's so funny. Who can give me a recap? Someone can do it for me this time.
Let's see. So, I'm trying to think where we actually start here. So we woke up in the, I would say, old hag's house, but that's probably offensive because we're actually going to be helping her now. Freda and scrolling up
Genna.
Session. Freda and Genna wake up in their house. I should say, Oswald has some visions of kind of the past of them being burned, and agreed to help. So we leave and meet up with Sven, who's been waiting outside patiently all night long.
That's what NPCs do, by the way. They do wait patiently.
Basically, just wait. There's a
Yes,
question
when
mark
they're off
above
the
their head.
screen, they just freeze.
Yeah.
We learned of the corpse that had attacked us was Jessup Stoller, who owned a farm that's along the way to the crypt. We agreed with Sven to stop by. We were a little reluctant
So
on
just
that,
stop
but
by and see what's going on. Yeah.
we sort of agreed. And then we find a young woman injured on the ground. We thought she was breathing. She was not. There was fluid and maggots in her throat that quickly ensnared Oswald. Then battle for us. It's a lot of like trying to swing at things and missing and hurting each other.
I picture like the Benny Hill theme playing in the background of that particular scene, like there was some fumbling.
I was kind of
going
thinking
on.
Three Stooges.
Yeah. By no fault of
about
yours. So the fates were not on your side, and so there was the attempt to tackle the situation. But yeah, so that was bad, and
Yes.
I love your video.
Sprained
by
my
the way.
ankle. And then we found another body, but then the party wisely split up, as is always the best. And then three of us are sitting around burning a corpse.
So yes, the first corpse is here beneath the flames that Rivers was kind enough to bring in, and then of course, three of you are here at the door. You're burning this other corpse. I believe Grimwald was listening at this door. Of course, since you were wise enough to split up, Oswald and Corbin went
Just
into.
none of us have ever seen horror movies before.
So no, that's why you do it. So, Corbin, what do you remember of the last couple of minutes?
I remember that my buddy was about to get eaten by I have no idea what that was.
A head crab creature,
Something like
mutated.
that. Yeah.
No, it's called a bed crab.
So beneath the bed, as Oswald climbed up to the loft there was a creature that emerged. Well, I shouldn't even say emerged, skittered from the shadows. Oswald was prepared to smash it with a lantern, the creature, if you recall, was sort of spidery in form, with flaps of skin kind of slapping around as it skittered from under the bed. There's this horrific rotting smell. Again, Corbin, you're basically standing on the ladder, so you're sort of just your head is peeking up along the floor of the loft there. And Oswald, you're sort of there, a bit prone, not formally prone as in the condition, but sort of you were looking down. You've got the lantern in your hand. The shit's gonna hit the fan.
He was peeking under the bed when it scuttled out.
Yeah, the shit's gonna hit the fan when you return, assuming your companions are not dead by then. So we're gonna switch back to Grimwald, Geschwind, and Bartleby, who looks much more fortified all of a sudden, having just improved himself. So you're there. There's this sort of smoldering body, and it's just this awful smell. It's like sulfur and rot, like shit, all at the same time, and burning skin there behind you. The door that you're looking at, Grimwald, is a little bit shorter than your average door. It's kind of a thicker oak, and I'm candidly, I did not watch the stream, so I don't remember what we learned about this room. I think you might have just opened the door, had you? Do you remember?
We opened it. It was empty, as far as we could tell.
Yeah, so there are many sacks. There are some various containers and crates and things like that. You may hear the scuttling of a rat, or the maybe the squeaking of a rat in there, but yeah, as far as you can tell, it's empty. What do you do?
Are there any other doors in there?
No, not in this room. This room does very much seem to be sort of a storage cellar. It's cooler in here. There aren't a lot of windows that might let kind of warmer air in. Sort of dry storage. There's some containers of salt and some corn. Various.
Are there any of the tiny mushrooms anywhere in there?
Ooh, give me a perception roll. Why don't you? Let's get those random rolls warmed up. Hope they're kinder than last time. Jesus.
No, they're not.
Well, actually, James pointed something out. That we have to remember the conditions, right? So you should actually have a plus 20, because this is not particular. You're not under duress. You're not, searching through something particular hard. So you would actually have succeeded. So remember, if I forget to tell you when I ask for a roll, ask for the modifier, because I forget. I'm old. So yeah, as you step into the room, Geschwin, and you can hear your footsteps kind of scraping along the dry, crumbling brick of this floor. Yes, there are in fact tiny mushrooms here and there. Not as prevalent as they are elsewhere, but where there are cracks in the brick in particular. And you notice something, there's just overwhelming, very mild, but very noticeable at the same time, smell of rot. It comes from everywhere. Not from the corpse. It's not old enough to smell this bad. You being the only one in the room, I'm going to put you in the room. Boop. You're welcome. So you what do you do as you're kind of a little nauseated by the smell? And the dog barking in the distance as well.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, that's perfect. That's actually perfect.
Can I sense where the smell is coming from, or is it just kind of like the whole room is just...
It smells... You step closer to the bags, kind of sniffing around. And Grimwald, what do? You notice him as well. He's kind of sniffing around. You smell it on the air, for sure.
I'm just looking around, make sure nothing pops out to get him.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. You step over to the grain. And it's a little stronger there.
Okay. How well lit is it? Can I...
Daylight coming in through an open door with stone walls, so kind of shadowy, and
I'm gonna take my rapier back out and kind of try to poke one of the bags and lift it up to see if there's something under there.
Okay. Bartleby, what are you doing? So both of your companions have kind of moved in. You're sort of standing there.
Bartleby is staying put.
Okay.
He's not entirely sure that this thing, even though it's on fire, is going to get back up.
So you're standing over there just staring this thing down. Okay.
Yep. Ready to run, honestly, if anything starts to move again.
Okay. So Geshwin, you reach out with your rapier and you kind of poke one of the bags, and it's sort of this dry, thick cloth, right? So as you do, it almost just kind of rips open. A flood of what at first seems like rice just spills out of this bag. Very quickly you realize that it's actually maggots, and they're writhing about. Very juicy, kind of. It's like they're in flesh.
I'm assuming, I'm not sure how much maggots differ, but do these look similar to the ones that came out of the person's neck?
They do, in fact. They're a similar kind of maggot.
I'm going to
if
jump
you want
back
to give
as
yourself
quickly as
maggot
possible.
identification as a knowledge skill, it's fine.
Perfect.
You take a couple slow steps back, and from inside this bag, it's like there's something kind of pushing around in there, like there's some mass or something. You're not sure, but it's forcing the maggots to spill out, right? Like if you were just pushing from the inside. Now that you...
I'm going to continue backing up.
you step back. Grimwald, what do you do? He kind of all but backs right up into you. What do you do?
I back up with him.
Okay. So Bartleby, over your shoulder, you see your friends who did this sort of Scooby-Doo walk in, doing the backwards Scooby-Doo walk out.
Zoinks.
Just like, there's
Reverse
something.
Shaggy creep walk.
There's something in there. It's maybe one of those rats, I hope. Should we light this place on fire?
Just doing the list.
I like the sound of that.
Burn the whole farm down.
I mean, to get rid of whatever this is, I mean, we should check the rest of the farm and make sure there's nobody, like, living. That we
No,
can
let's burn it the fuck
save.
down. Sorry, old lady. Yeah, do it.
But, like, to get rid of
Scream
these
if you're alive
maggots,
in there.
I don't know what else we do besides burn. Like, it's not like you just clean this up, so...
I'll just shut the door and we'll come back later.
Okay.
Yeah, I suggest we check to make sure there's nobody, you know, we can actually save before
Yeah.
either we leave or burn this place to the ground.
Fair enough. So you proceed to shut the door, and just so we're thinking about the congruity of things, right about this time would be probably around the point that Oswald was starting to walk over toward the ladder, right, to climb, because you guys were sort of frozen while he was walking around the ground floor. So you kind of glance across. You don't hear any noise coming from the main house, so you feel like that's pretty well in hand, as well as anything can be. Bartleby, you don't notice the corpse, although it is starting to kind of burn out. There's not a lot of other fuel for the fire. But you're starting to notice, now that you step back to your friends, you're starting to pick up on this smell too. It's like rotten meat. And it's pervasive, but it's not strong enough to be emanating from this thing. It's just in the air. What do you do?
Bartleby will sniff the air a little. Say, do you boys know what that is? Know what that is? Know where that's coming from?
Well, this whole room was filled with maggots and something in there.
Huh.
Your nose has never lied to you, Bartleby, and it's not coming from in there. It's in the air. It's like a rain, you know? It's like that.
I don't think it's just that. I think there's something else. We should have a look around
To check the
and then burn it all.
What is the building like to the north of us?
To the far
That's like
north
attached to the room we were on.
here? You don't know. It's stone on the bottom. Sort of upper, upwards of sort of 3.5 feet is wood. What's inside of it, you don't know. I'd be happy to tell you if you want to find out.
Bartleby will start moving towards the door.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that'd
So-
be the first place I think.
I'll be the
Look
friend.
for survivors.
So stepping out and away and kind of, getting a broader look at the front, you're thinking it definitely looks like a barn. So these two doors here are good size. And there's a pull ring on either side that you can pull to pull them open. There are no windows really looking in at this level. And you do, you don't see a hayloft or anything like that at the side. But yeah, there's sizable doors here. What do you do?
Bartleby will put his ear to the door, see if he can hear anything on the other side.
Okay.
Being
Give me a
ever
perception
cautious.
roll, please. And
Yeah,
your
sure.
modifier for that, I'm going to give you. There's a door in the way, so let's leave it as routine. So no modifier.
No modifier? Okay. Let's see. Perception.
So you, I just can't get. I Rivers, I don't know if you're seeing this, man, but this is like this. So there's a 44 on the table. It's a fumbling failure against a wait. Roll a 44 against a 38. So you lean in and listen, and there's a sudden gaseous kind of sound coming from over back where the corpse is, and you're so hyper tuned into the state of the corpse that this kind of just drags you back as the stomach apparently ruptures and the gas is released. And you see Bartleby kind of stand up from his listening stance with a bit of a start, looking back toward the burning corpse to the south. I'm not going to make you injure your ear trying to listen or anything, so you don't pick up on anything in particular.
Okay.
Except,
Bartleby will shrug and reach for the pull ring.
yep. You what'd you say?
If there's one on each door, I'll get the other one.
Okay. So the two of you, and this is almost perfect. So you guess when you're arranged more or less in the middle, right? Like they're opening the doors for you.
Yes,
Yeah.
you should never like this is almost perfect.
So you reach up and you pull these barn doors, and if only Oswald were here, because they're not very well maintained. They creak with these deep like kind of pull, and they're sort of heavy. But once you get them moving, they tend to kind of swing out on their own. The light spills into what is clearly a barn. The floor is strewn with straw to kind of soak up any animal waste and things like that. The thing that catches your attention immediately, though, rocking sort of back and forth between two pillars, and allow me to undo some. Roll 20. Between two pillars, right here in the middle. This browser does not like Roll20. This is sad. I'm having a bit of a problem here. I can't get to my creature.
Oh,
fine.
darn.
No, it's okay. I'll just tell you about it. So
Maybe it's not there.
Standing nicely hidden on a hidden layer that I cannot seem to activate to unhide it is a large bull, muscular, just bristling with these well-developed muscles and these horns, but it's also ragged with rot. Its side is torn open and maggots are just dripping out of it. There's some kind of tentacular growth kind of dangling and scraping the ground. And as the light hits it, it raises its head to look at you. And as it sort of exhales like any good bull would do, mucus just bubbles out of its two nostrils. And it... What do you do, Geshwin?
I yell, "Close the doors."
And what did the two of you do in response to that?
You missed your chance. Hold the door.
Close the doors.
Hold the door.
No, I want them to close those doors.
so
Then hold it.
You hear him shout, Grimwald, do you comply? So Bartleby very quickly starts to push the door shut.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't just peek around and pull out your sword and poke at it. So you do. You close the door. As you push those doors shut.
I'm running towards the door to
okay.
brace it.
Okay, so you're gonna try to hold the door against this thing's if it rushes it.
Yeah.
You think? Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
Try. I'm not confident, but
yeah. So we'll explore if you see him do this, and I'm assuming that the rest of you kind of lean into it as well, right? And you hear this thing on the other side, and absolutely probably backing up to get a good running head start. As it does, please give me, since you're taking the lead, Geshwin, a strength roll. And the two of you assisting will give plus 10 for the sort of collaborative effort there. So you'll get a plus 20 bonus.
Okay.
See how this goes. Please don't fumble and fail. Just, yes, thank God. Wait, everyone, let's mark this in the history of the game. There was a successful roll. It happened.
Me.
It's documented, and Geshwin did it.
It wasn't technically combat, that's why.
Yeah, so you lean in. You being in the middle are tossed back slightly, and literally your heels dug into the sort of dirt ground in front of the door. You actually are pushed back and create ruts in the dirt as this thing just slams into it. You hear this curious kind of crack sound, followed by a sort of slapping like a wet on the ground. And then the door kind of, the pressure on it releases. On the other side. What do you do? You're looking at each other like, oh, that was too easy. What do you do?
Hold the door closed.
I look for, is there any type of, I'm trying to think like farm utensils, like a hoe or a pitchfork or something like that.
So there
I could put through the rings.
Good thought. So, yes, there is actually a shovel leaning against the wall of the building across from you, like by those bags. And you're going to have to rush over there and get it and get back in time. Because there's no way in hell just the two of them are holding this thing.
I kind of... Shit.
As you hesitate, give me another collaborative roll,
Damn it.
please, because it slams into the door yet again. Furious this time. Same modifier will apply as long as they're helping you.
Okay.
Damn. So at this point, the new and improved Bartleby just puts his whole back into it and just grits his teeth, and you're making eye contact, and there's that movie moment where he just tightens his jaw and leans into it. It doesn't move. What do you do?
As soon as we realize it has moved, I'm gonna dart for the shovel.
All right, give me please a roll for that. Hang on. Oh, nice. Rivers is about to turn on. You're going to join from another machine, right? And that actually shouldn't be terribly catastrophic. Yes, it will. And it was. Holy fuck. You see that? This is amazing. Okay, so I don't
That's
give
impressive.
a damn what's happening.
I duplicated.
There we go. Jesus Christ. Okay, there's Rivers. Turn off the old one, and now it's disconnect from the other one.
James and I are sharing a window.
Ooh.
This is, for those of you watching the stream, this is chaos. Turn on.
And John and Rivers are sharing a window. Wow, this is
Yeah. There we go.
that is special.
All right. We're back to fucking normal. I didn't have to move anybody. All right. Hey, Rivers.
Oh wow. Cool.
Okay, so literally second time the bull smashes into the doors. You hold it fast. Geshwin, you dart off. Do you have athletics? I'm guessing you probably do. You can also give me dexterity rolls.
I think the basic skills, everyone has it.
Yeah, it is.
At least might not have any points in it.
Yeah. So what's that dexterity? Right?
Oh yeah, actually I do have points in it.
All right, give me give me a roll, please. This will actually be. There's nothing obstructing you. The adrenaline is helping you. I'm going to give you the plus 20 for an easy roll because you're doing something you've probably done in your past, hauling ass and snatching.
I'm a messenger.
If there is a way to critically succeed at grabbing a shovel,
Bolt.
you snatch that shovel up, man. So you run over to the bags, grab the shovel, and return flawlessly. Push the shovel in between the rings will be your action next round. So you get there. However, so as you're moving, you're running up, you're realizing the thing may hit any second. And you can see the pensive looks on your friends' faces. What do? You've got the shovel in hand. Try to get it in the rings, or do you what?
No, I would probably try brace the door again if I'm thinking it's going to hit one more time.
Okay. So you run in and again lean into the door. Go ahead and give me that roll. Although I'm going to let Bartleby roll it this time if you don't mind, because you're kind of he's probably got the lead on this.
Strength roll. All right.
10 per assistant.
Okay. Modifier.
It'll be 20. You a bonus of 20. So, although this time is narrow, so you're leaning into it and you literally feel the doors buckle outward. And again, your feet dig trenches as the strength of the thing. The scent of rot is overwhelming through the door as the air from inside of the building kind of rushes out with the beast's attempt to get out. You have one shot, Mr. Geschwin, to get to get that shovel shoved in there.
What would that be? What type of roll?
Let's use dexterity, please.
Dexterity.
A fumbling failure may result in a shovel to the face for your friends, but other than that, you should be okay. Bong.
Oh, dexterity's gonna be rough. No modifier?
Now, this is success day, man. I'm gonna say this should probably be a routine.
Okay. Shit.
No. So you get it through one ring. And at this point, Bartleby, you're going to need to make another strength roll. Only a +10 bonus, as Geschwind is the only one actually helping you. Failure will, of course, mean that the bull will smash. Oh, wow. So, so again, this thing pushes forward. The doors actually
saves the day.
Outward. So, Geschwind, you're there. You can see through the doors at this point. You now understand what the smell was, as apparently the first hit tore the rotten flesh from this thing along with part of its horn, and it's now laying in a splatter on the floor, and half of this thing's face is just dangling like a sheet. The door closes back, blocking your view. You nearly vomit, but you will have another agility roll. Let's see if you get it in there.
Dexterity or agility?
I'm sorry, dexterity. This is weird. Oh, fuck.
Shit.
Having seen this thing, you're literally starting to shake. The tension is just overwhelming you. You hear Bartleby call out, "Hurry!" as this thing huffs and runs forward yet again. Go ahead and give me yet another strength roll. I'm not opposing you because I haven't set this up as an actual creature to roll into them.
Okay. Still a 10 modifier?
Yes, the two of you.
Nope. Very
Nope. So, Geschwin, all of your best laid plans, right? So you've gotten this through one of the rings, and it's literally just about to go through the second ring when the doors just blow open, knocking all of you backwards and onto your asses. One square. So I'm going to move here. You here, and of course you were in the middle, so wind up somewhere around here. The bull is massive, and the stench is overwhelming as it just plows out into the courtyard. And here, I'm going to try one more time to get my... Here, roll 20.
Browser
All right.
are you using?
Huh?
What browser are you using?
I am using Chrome.
Opera.
Well, I'm using Chrome for one, and I've got another one loaded, but it's just weird. I'm going to try to reload. Hang on 1 second. Oh. It would be very helpful to have the critters so you can understand the scale you're dealing with. Yep, there we go. That was better. I just had to reload it. So for those watching the stream, if Roll20 is a fuckface, just reload it and everything gets better. The glories of JavaScript. You should see... There you go. Dun, dun, dun. You see it? I hope you see it.
Yeah. I see it now.
All right. There we go. Sorry about that. So, Geschwind, I'm sorry. It's pretty much right there as it comes out before, and somewhere Oswald's probably like, ha, 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 after last time.
Payback.
Yeah. So dragging along from its face basically is the skin and the sort of the bits and bobs that supported that part of its face, and it's dragging it like a nunchuck behind it, but very clearly interested in tearing you all to pieces. Bartleby, you're closest to it, and this will start an official combat round. So you have the next initiative. Actually, I'm sorry, Grimwald, you would have first initiative. Bartleby kind of staggering backward from it. What do you guys do?
Get up and help Geshwin up.
So you get up. Geshwin is beneath the beast. So as you stand, you're looking right at its massive flank, right? So it's right in front of you.
Like pull him away from it and get him up.
Okay, so you reach kind of underneath and just grab a boot or something. Give me, go ahead and give me a strength roll. He's easy enough to grab for sure because he's not moving around much at the moment. Give me a strength roll and see if you can get him from beneath there.
Average?
I think so. Yes. So you just yeah, you're the first one to fumble.
I don't want him to die.
We're rolling on the internal GM oops table.
I'm gonna help you get all that.
So you
Hey, Grimwald saved me before.
Nice. So you spent a point to re-roll. Is that what I heard? The audio was a little echo, a little tough. And then your second roll was at least only a failure. So you grab a hold of him and you drag him out, or start to drag him out. It's fairly straightforward.
Go ahead.
But as you do so, the
It's already open up for that.
whoa!
You asked me if I want to create a grave, and then you open
I
create
think
grave.
you can mute him.
Yeah, let me find him. Sorry, Rivers. I'll mute you for a second, brother. Got it. I don't
You can hear me? What?
Not anymore. You're all good. You're fine. I took care of it. All right, you back? Because I got to unmute you now. All right, you're back. Okay, so as you reach down and grab his boot, that's easy enough, right? You start to pull, and just as you do, this thing literally steps on his cloak and holds him in place. And you're pulling, but are unable to pull him from out from under there. Next up in the initiative is Bartleby. What do you do, Bartleby?
So the doors are swung open, right?
The doors are absolutely swung open. Yes.
You're
gonna run in there?
Yeah, I'm gonna run in there. No. Can I grab the shovel from the ring?
You absolutely can. In fact,
All
at
right,
this
so-
point, it would probably be laying right, say, here.
Yeah. So Bartleby's just gonna pick up that shovel and try to hit this bull with it.
Got it. So I'm going to give you just the benefit of the doubt here to keep things moving. So you can just take a step. I'm going to steal a little D&D 5-foot step roll. So you can take the step diagonally to the north. You grab the shovel. I'll give you a free action because it's literally scooping up a shovel. And we started late. What do you do with this fucking shovel when you have it in your hand, Bartleby?
So Bartleby is just gonna take it and kind of raise it up and try to jam it into the skull of this cow, this bull.
Nice. Okay. So you're going to do that. So give me a roll, a shovel roll. Do you have a shovel roll?
Shovel? No. I have no idea.
Well,
modifier?
Since I know you love complexity, I'm going to ask you to add a shovel weapon to your character sheet. It's a large creature. It's not moving around particularly fast. So let's call it no modifier. So no
Okay.
bonus or penalty.
Oof.
So it's very difficult not to hit it. You don't brain it, but you bash the living hell out of the back of its head. And as you do so, the other horn just kind of snaps, and these worms from inside this kind of honeycomb bone of the horn just start sort of oozing out. You don't do any particular damage, but you do unleash quite a fury of stench. It now... who did I miss? Geshwin, what do you do? So you're beneath this.
Yeah, So is it still on my cloak?
You discover this right about now. Yes.
Okay.
Grimwald's pulling you, and you feel resistance.
I'm gonna try to unclasp the cloak and just roll
Okay.
out from under it.
having dressed yourself for a long time, I'll give you a free action on that. Easy enough, right? You reach up and unclasp. Go ahead and give me a dexterity roll to give me an athletics roll to get the hell out of there. And this will be yes. Damn, you are the critical success man.
I somersault out unnecessarily.
You do. So you tumble out of there and wind
like a
up
Power Ranger.
Yes, thanks to your critical success, you put yourself. I'll give you 2 squares of movement in any direction you'd like to go, and you will be back on your feet. So, with your tumbling, like a Power Ranger.
As much as I really want to go inside the barn, I won't. I will. Can I ready an action?
While you're
so
tumbling?
Probably not.
While you're tumbling?
Well, now that I've landed,
yeah.
Essentially, my goal is if it charges me, to duck out of the way so it goes into the barn again.
Yeah. So you're gonna use your. I'm gonna say you're gonna use your action with this athletics.
Okay. Yep.
But you could still move because you have your move action. But you can't dodge. You can't dodge, right? So you can. Yeah. So do you want to use some move to put some wall in between you and the critter?
Doors are open. I'm gonna go, and it's facing me.
No,
so
actually, it's at this point it's kind of facing outward.
Okay.
So,
I'm gonna run right there, and then just make a lot of noise at it. Just screaming, basically. I'm basically screaming anyways. I'm gonna just internally screaming. Now I'm gonna just vocalize it.
Nice. So you sort of tumble backwards and jump to your feet and and start screaming at this thing. There's an anvil, just so you know, to your left if you wanted to grab that and throw it or something fun. Spinning along. So now we have the critter's opportunity to act. So this creature is clearly somewhat aware of its surroundings, sort of looking very quickly over toward Bartleby, who smashed it in the head with a hammer. It kind of turns and glares, if glaring is a thing that milky dead eyes can do. And it will actually throw you. Rotting cow. I made a character sheet for the rotting cow so that I could have combat rolls. Oh, wow. There we go. Please tell me you saw that in the chat.
No.
Nope.
No. Nope.
So this thing turns around. See, rotting cow. Look at that. That is another thing that is huge pain in the ass about the system. We won't talk about it, but it spins around towards Bartleby and lunges forward with its nasty kind of cracked, disgusting hooves. You do have to stagger back into the doorway to avoid it, but it does not succeed at hitting you anyway. Up next would be Grimwald. What do you do, Grimwald?
Kind of catching on to what they're doing, I go into the barn.
She's gonna just try to run past into the barn, just haul ass past it. Okay.
Yeah.
So typically, as you're passing through, you kind of threaten square area. There is a little provision in there for that, but this thing is dead and somewhat vacuous in terms of its awareness. So you run right past it, and aside from the stench, you are unaffected. Oswald, what do you do? Or, I'm sorry, shit, I'm going down the list. Bartleby, what do you do?
So this thing is facing outward from us?
At this point, it's turned around because it's sort of turned around. Yeah, it turned around to kind of stomp at you.
Yeah. All right. So Bartleby is gonna step back out from the doorway and answer with an attack.
Nice. So you just step out,
swinging the shovel.
Nice.
Yeah. Yep.
If you're a superhero, you'd be the shoveler. Give me that shovel roll. And again, no modifiers.
No modifiers.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know what? Hang on a second. So isn't it, is there a size variable, and Rivers would know this, he's not here. I'm going to give you a +10, which would actually get you there. Because...
Which would make that a success.
Yep.
I think.
47.
No.
Nope, still failed.
No.
So congratulations on your bonus, but no, just give yourself +10 going for it. With a size modifier. And please remember as well, if you guys outnumber it, right? So if you flank it or you're both attacking it, then you get stacking bonuses as well. So there's like plus 20, and then if there's 3 to 1, it's like plus 40. So don't metagame, but you can metagame if you want to. It's fine. Just fucking kill it. Up next would be who? Geshwin. What do you do? You see, it's inspiring. You see Bartleby step out and just bong hit this thing in the head. And again, I mean, it's a bull skull, so he's hitting it every time. He's just not doing a whole lot. What do you do?
Inspired by this courageous act, I'm gonna run up and try to just pierce its skull with a rapier.
Okay. Nice.
So
go ahead and do it.
Plus 10?
Yes.
20.
Actually, so it's plus 20 if you're
20.
2 to 1.
Nice.
Give me some damage for your rapier, please.
I forgot how that works.
So
Strength bonus plus 4? So it's just automatic?
That sounds right.
7?
And then, but do you get your success level as well, right? Or no? Yep.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
So,
you get your
9?
success level.
Nice.
9 damage.
So then, of course, the critter soaks some of that damage because it has a toughness for its skull, right? So you stab your rapier right into its milky eye and it pops. And yet again, fewer worms, more pus, right? But just kind of leak out of the empty eye socket as you slide in behind its eye and are digging around in whatever sort of skull it has. You withdraw it, and there's all this sort of ichor on the end of your blade. It staggers slightly. It's not dead, though, and it's going to be pretty aggravated with you.
I use my maggot identification skill I picked up. Are these the same maggots?
Why don't you roll? Why don't you keep rolling for things and get some of these critical successes out? What?
Fucking wow.
For one, good on you, John, for adding that as a skill, because you do have it. Henceforth, I don't even care, because if it's a success like this, yes, they are, and in fact, they're edible. You know this. We don't know why, but you know this. But that's the last thing that you remember, because this thing's going to try to destroy you. Yeah. So let me go back to rotting.
That's the last thing Geshwin ever did.
Yeah.
Don't stop to inspect the maggots just yet.
Yeah.
You can eat them, Gord.
So right. So the good news is you're causing some penalties here, which is a shame. So it leans forward. Actually, this time I didn't put all the attacks of the monster in. So this time, basically, it leans its head down and tries to kind of gore you with what's left of its horn, choosing the wrong side, because remember, that horn had snapped off. It actually does push you backward, but does not pierce your skin. But at this range, it's almost impossible for something this big to miss. So it just nudges against you and leaves this sort of streak of milky snot-like rot on your chest. Who's up next? Grimwald.
Well, I go back outside and stab it.
So do you go running and just jump over the two of them, slow running through the air or something, or? You will now be at a plus 40, I believe it is, for 3 to 1.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard not to succeed. Nice. What's your damage?
I forget.
Once again, those of you who are listening, James's lighting is still fantastic. We realized his audio was too good. It was making Grimwald too sexy.
Need to balance it out.
Yeah, we had to balance it out.
It
So
starts at 8.
I don't know what you
15.
said. 15. Jesus. So running in, Grimwald slips behind Geshwin. You tell me how you kill this fucking thing. You tell me what your friends see when you slide your rapier into its skull. And be gross, please.
Just and stab the rapier deep, right through its chest and where its heart would be, I guess.
So
Kill whatever's.
you slide your rapier in, and you feel this slight resistance. You push, and there's a popping sound, just, and then all of a sudden, just this sea of pus pours out from underneath it. Because remember, its underside is open. So whatever sac you just opened up, this source of infection, this rot, just showed it who Grimoire Braum is. And this thing just, and literally just topples over with a thud, farting and churning and whatever.
Oh.
Yeah. What do you do?
Just kind of stagger back away from that.
Okay. So now's a good time to remember that there was something else going on across the way. Oops, Jesus Christ. I have too many windows open, which is ironic when you're using. Okay. Moving over and rewinding. Remember about the time that you guys were heading into this mess. So literally these combats are going on at the exact same time. So I appreciate you guys for not trying to intervene and get in the middle of that. And sorry for making you wait so long. So moments ago, if I'm getting my history right, as they were exploring the other building, Oswald, you had kind of walked through the main house, right? You've looked around. You've seen some things of interest. There's food. There's probably some healing supplies, whatever type stuff. You've climbed upstairs, hoping to see what's going on. Maybe there's someone left in the farmhouse. You were looking under the bed because you kind of heard a noise, right? And there was this sort of shadow. And then suddenly, when we cut off last time, there was this skittering sound as this head and legs and God only knows what, this is abomination, just starts dragging itself out from under the bed. It had gotten, as I recall, to about here. And you, sir, had the initiative and were about to bash it with a lit lantern, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Like the hood had been opened and like I had set it down to actually look at it. And when I was like getting closer to being prone, like staring in our direction. And so I was like, the instant reaction was like Oswald turns on its side to like lay over.
Yep.
And he like grabs the lid of it basically, and he's just like over the top, just bringing it down on top of its head as hard as he can.
Nice. So because you were doing that intentionally, I'm not going to give you any condition of a prone condition, but you would be limited in certain movements. But you reach over to your side, you grab the lantern. Give me an attack roll and see as you kind of sweep it over your shoulder to hit this creature with it. Also, you would destroy your lantern as well.
That's fine. At this point, Oswald doesn't care. This thing's skittered out from underneath the couch.
And it's leaving quite a trail of snot behind it, but we can talk about that.
Yeah, well, that gets the Lantern of Destruction treatment. That qualifies for Lantern of Destruction in my book.
You should have added that as a weapon, but go ahead.
Yeah. Don't worry, there will be many more.
Yeah.
So, melee basic, but it's technically an improv, so I don't know whether you use brawling or... Yeah,
use brawling, please. Yeah, it would just think of it as like an improvised weapon, so just brawling's fine.
Okay.
I think.
Okay. I have stuff in there.
Yes. We are succeeding today. So nothing impressive, nothing quite so much like our hero Geshwin today, but you reach over your shoulder, grab the handle of the lantern and just swing it around. Now remember that certain melee attacks are opposed, and this one wouldn't matter because you're going to hit him, and the lantern is going to smash. So let's give that an ablaze condition. Yeah. And give me, that's going to be strength +1. If you...
Yeah, so it's 4 damage, and then whatever blaze applies, I threw it off the top.
Yep. Blaze causes all sorts of problems down the road. So now that it is on fire, it will continue to burn, and that's going to be bad for it for a minute. So what happens, you smash the lantern, and there's just this glass kind of flying everywhere, and this whoosh of flame as the oil leaks out from it and soaks this creature. There's a sort of high-pitched, almost insect-like kind of sound as it catches on fire, but it does continue forward. The other thing that's troubling is that you realize that the sort of head bit, right, that's coming toward you is dragging some mass from behind it, like the rest of it, like the rest of its body. The base of its body is still underneath the bed. So we'll see what that looks like in a second.
Gonna have to clean my eyeballs out with alcohol.
Yes. So, Corbin, you actually have an opportunity to act. Now, note that you are just looking, the floor is like this to you, right? Because you've climbed up the ladder and you're standing with your hands on the ladder. What do? You see him smash. There's like this spray of oil and fire and whatnot in that area. What do? You're muted.
I'm torn between going up the ladder to help and getting down the ladder away from this thing.
Okay. What do you actually do?
Is the oil look like it's like coming my way? Because if it is, I'm going down.
No, he would have been swinging it toward the creature. So just think about the spray of it. No, not really. Now it will be dripping through the floorboards because it's not like a sealed floor. So the burning oil will in fact be dripping down. Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and continue my climb up.
Okay.
And
that's your move action. You get to the top of the ladder.
And ready my dagger.
Okay. You can. That's a free action. You pull your dagger. What do?
Can I get in there to take a swipe at the creature, or is there?
No.
It looks kind of tight.
No, you cannot. So unless it decides to move closer, at which point you could.
Okay.
Right. So you've gotten to the top of the ladder. You pull out your dagger. You're feeling
so I'm ready to help.
You're feeling like you had whatever vitamins Geshwin had. That's what you think. All right. So, leaning over your buddy, the head drags itself forward. Sorry, I have to open the rotten farmer character sheet. Well, to get this through and roll 20, right? Like you kind of have to have it that way. So that's a shame. Okay. So this is an opposed melee roll. So now that we're actually in the combat system and you're not fighting a big crazy bull, let's remember that if you're attacking someone, the someone that you're attacking gets to oppose that roll, and the winner may actually wind up doing damage. So Oswald, if you could please, you're going to swing the rest of this lantern now. So keep in mind, fumbling failure could cause fire damage to other people because it's on fire and that's all you got in your hand. You're swinging it like repeatedly, right? But go ahead and give me an opposed attack roll.
I think it was Oswald's going to do the one swing with it and it explodes. Okay. And he lets go of it.
Okay.
And he's going to
oppose it with brawling.
Yeah. And what he's going to do is oppose it with brawling. So whenever I roll, I'll.
Yep. Go ahead. Give me the roll because I think you're going to win it.
No.
Yeah, you do because he's at 91 versus 36.
Yeah, but I still fail.
So yeah. So you fend him off though. So you both fail. So basically, you're kind of pushing, and you don't do any damage, right? But you're kind of swinging, you're fist fighting this thing's head. So you kind of hit it, knock it off balance a little bit, but it doesn't do any damage to you.
I like to think that Oswald had its mouth agape, and it launched at him with all the tentacles and whatever. And Oswald put his hand, literally outreached his hands into its mouth, and just is holding it there, stop, get away, like you're holding a dog back, just stop.
Delicious, Chef Boyardee. Yeah. Excellent. Good plan. Okay,
so
God. The initiative rolls over. Oswald, it is your turn. So you put your hands on its face. You've got your hands kind of there, and you're sort of what you think is its face, this kind of awful, distorted, mutated head. This sack that's behind it, almost like, and pardon me for not being G-rated here, but almost like a big, strange, mutated, maggot-infested testicle, just kind of being dragged forward from under this bed. It's coming along, and whatever's in there is probably bad. What do you do?
I think Oswald, there's licks of flame all over him. I think I'm gonna try and I think I'm gonna try a repeat of my first thing, because Oswald's a city kid, so he wants to either one brawl this thing or grapple it and grab its head and just keep forcing it open.
I love that you're fist fighting a giant mutated testicle monster.
I mean,
So
he
good.
doesn't have another option. Like,
I know.
He doesn't have another option.
It's good. Give me the roll, man. Give me the roll.
Yeah. Oswald's just gonna fucking swing his fists.
And it will oppose you, as giant mutated testicle monsters will do.
Man, I kind of want to.
Ooh, so
Yeah, no, I'm gonna try and roll that.
okay.
See what the dice gods give me. Oh
God!
Oh god!
So you were attacking, weren't you?
Yeah. I was.
Okay, so give me your oops roll, please.
It's a exclamation point.
Yes, I think so.
Send you your weapon.
You drop your ammunition. What is that? Your fingers? Because you.
Just so I'll come.
Fall off.
No, I could re-roll it if you want.
No, that's okay. We can work with this. So you basically re-roll it. I'm at a loss for that one.
Yeah, like
I almost had it. Okay, so you don't. Okay, so you basically go to reach out and attack and basically want a whiffing as you attempt to, and representing the damage that's done. So you're actually going to take, that's +2, so it's 4, so 6, and you're going to soak whatever your toughness will take to your right leg as you kind of whiff. And this thing just basically latches onto your right leg, and you feel this awful sort of sucking, biting sensation as it begins to feed on you. What's your toughness there?
My toughness is 3.
Okay.
So toughness bonus is 3, so I reduce it by 3, and I lose 3 HP down to 9.
Righto. So you feel this thing biting into your leg. Nothing horrific. Fairly superficial for now. It's like a lamprey kind of bite.
Okay. It's first digging in, so I need to remove it. Is what you're saying?
Yes. Okay. So right about this point, Corbin, you've stood, and just in the seconds after you pull your dagger and you're kind of standing there, this all just scrambles. This sort of action in front of you. You too see that some muscles unseen along the sinew that connects this spider head to whatever the hell is being dragged from under the bed. There's this undulation, like this sort of pulsing that drags it forward. Very Silent Hill, you think to yourself, if you know what that is. What do you do?
Can I get in there to help in any way, or
you can get in there to help in all kinds of ways? How would you like to help?
I'm going to squeeze in there and try to slash at this thing that's fastened itself to his leg.
Okay, so
stay away from the jewels. Yeah. Stay away from whatever you do. It's on my thigh, please.
Let's go on record. Let's go on record and remind all of our viewers that the last couple of times that poor Oswald has been in a situation like this, one of his friends has either tackled him or stabbed him. But okay, fine. So let's it's preoccupied. Corbin, I'm going to give you +10. Your adrenaline's pumping. Make your roll. Also put yourself where you would like to be, wherever that is. Note that there's a very low.
You said it's attached to his right leg, so it would probably be best to come in here.
Math. Roll. +10 bonus. What do you say as you pass Oswald? What do you say to him? Are you just walk up and start slicing like Michael Myers, or do you?
I'm gonna slice at it first and then see what happens.
Okay.
I gotta remember which weapon skill to use here.
Use cooking.
Usually I do, but that's not going to help.
Yes.
I don't know, like dicing.
Ooh,
wait! I did something wrong.
You've got
that would still be.
You have the most incredible melee basic skill ever. Corbin will fuck you up, and remember to give yourself. Hey, by the way, what I don't know what you're doing with your character sheet, but that's called cheating. Also,
I think I typed in 100 for the bonus instead of 10.
You get a +10, but remember, because this is a situation involving Oswald, you get that bond bonus as well, right? You don't.
I think that applies to strength.
You may be right. It was feats of strength. Sorry.
Yes.
I was trying to help you, little guy. Sorry.
I know. So that would be 12 out of 32.
You're forgetting the gang up.
Well, that's still fine. It was super.
What's the gang up?
Yeah, it'd be 42.
Yeah, actually would. Okay. That's true, because you would get the 2-on-1.
Okay.
Yeah. So either way, boy, do you ever hit it. So your success level would be not
4.
11. What's your damage?
It'd be 4.
Wouldn't it be 3?
Oh no, it is 3.
Yeah, it's 3.
It's 3.
Yeah,
I
it's
was
3.
thinking something else.
Okay, now I got to remember how to do damage.
If you put
It's your strength level plus the weapons modifier, which is the dagger.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
it's
actually, if you, on the character sheet in Roll20, if you fill out your weapons, right, because you've got your dagger in there, so if you fill that out with the damage as it's supposed to be, it will actually calculate all that for you. It'll show you.
Yeah, I accidentally clicked on the weapon skill under skills instead of the roll under gear.
Yeah, no problem.
So damage is 3.
Okay, 3. So you lean in and with a little sort of diminutive grunt, just kind of stick your dagger into this thing's shoulder, the one of the shoulder joints of its spider apparatus or whatever. It doesn't react in one way or another, so you're not entirely certain what you've done to it. But whatever it is, I mean, there is this kind of snot that starts to leak out of it. Now, yet again, the sack moves forward. At this point, just to describe it again, a beanbag-sized pouch of flesh that's kind of undulating, and it's sort of being dragged closer as
You should get out of here and let this thing burn.
as it's like biting. The fire, by the way, is not going to just continue to burn and burn and burn.
I'm not paying attention to it that closely.
Yes. I'm just reminding myself. It's actually going to take some damage. I'm looking that up. Oswald, what do you do?
I'm gonna try and pry this thing off of me. I'm meleeing to grapple, basically.
Okay, so you will get your your bonus of 2 on 1. It will oppose you as best it can, and tackles. Ooh, it fails. How'd you do?
I'm just about to roll, so give me 1 second. Fumbling failure.
Ooh.
You know what? Fuck it. I'll spend my last point on it.
Thank you, James. I appreciate that. So a blaze is 1d10 damage at the end of each round. So it's actually James. Could you roll a 1d10 for me for the last round? It's been on fire a couple rounds now.
Yeah. So I reduced that.
Yep.
Fumbling failure to a regular failure. So.
Yes, and so your failure level was 4, it was 3, so yeah, it actually is going to best you there, but it doesn't do any damage, right? So it's fantastic. So it seems satisfied as it bites deeper. You actually feel its teeth scraping on your femur as it bites down. You can now feel it just digging. It's going to soon start to take muscle with it as it gets a nice grip. And actually its turn, isn't it? Oswald, do you want to oppose the roll, I'm guessing?
Very much so. I do not want him free reign.
Ooh, ouch. Nice. God
damn.
So I'm going to give you a choice. You can oppose it with melee as usual, or if you want to oppose it with a dodge, I will give you a plus 20. But a failure will mean that you'll take the majority of your calf muscle with.
I'm gonna. Oswald isn't one to back down, so I think he's gonna try and finish this thing off.
Do it. You grit your teeth and oppose.
Oh. Yeah, no, see, I'm just not having the luck today, man.
I'm not actually adding advantage. This is a shame because that would actually be 1, 2, 3. It's failed you. It's got Jesus. It's got a ton. No, actually, no. Because advantage would reset when the halfling stabbed it. So let's not forget the advantage system. For the complexity fans in the room.
Yeah.
Every time it wins, it's going to get +1 advantage, which is a +10 bonus. So either one of you, actually. Although at this point, I'm going to reset because the halfling, I think, just cleared it with a stab to its head. It, however, does do some damage to you. Or, 7.
7, so minus 3, that's 4. I'm at 5. Get pretty low.
Yes, so it's basically moving its head back and forth and using these spidery kind of appendages and tentacles to push itself back and forth, really trying to rip loose the muscle, clearly eating you alive. The sack at this point enters the square right next to it, and as it does so, it starts to kind of vibrate. You're not sure what that's all about, and you're not sure. Who's next? Corbin.
Yeah, since this thing's still attached to him, I'm going to try to slash it again. Would I get advantage?
Yes. So you get a plus 20 bonus because it's 2 to 1.
Okay.
And it is not opposing you because it is not in direct combat with you. It is more interested in doing whatever horrific thing it's about to do to Oswald. Why does Oswald get this shit into the deal every adventure?
Yeah, dude,
Poor
I
guy.
know.
The
Right.
roll button is not working.
Do it the way you did it before. It's fine. You can.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
You can do bracket 100 and just look at your modifier. Or slash 1d100.
Oh, you pain in the butt. Okay, let's try this again. The modifier window popped up behind my character sheet.
Sweet. Yeah. It happens. Because you got the character sheet popped out in a window. What'd you roll? Ooh.
Oh, I missed.
Yeah, you did. So do you want to spend any points? You're going to let that failure stand?
I don't have points.
I'm sorry. Well, yeah. That's
He's a halfling. He doesn't have points.
Oh, poor little guy. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
You stab at it, but as quickly as its limbs flitter around, what you're realizing is you need a bigger target. I will give you that. So, ironically, there's a very large pouch right there next to it. Oswald, what do you do?
I think Oswald is going to spend one of his fate die, like burn it, to hit this thing as hard as he can.
Okay.
Let's see. Let me see. Should I or should I not?
You can burn a
Getting
fate
rid of-
point to increase the success level, right? So, like, if you needed to go there, you could.
Well, if you burn one, you get an automatic success. Like,
No,
even
yeah,
if
yeah,
you
yeah.
like,
But you're debating as to whether or not you want to.
yeah, I think I'm gonna hold off on that until it's really dire. So I'm just rolling.
Okay.
That's just trying to beat it off of me because I don't have any other weapon. So
Right about this point, folks, the creature falls over. Not this creature. the bull, vroom, to the ground. Right. In the moments, the eerie moments of just those milliseconds, almost of silence, you can hear the sound of this. This halfling is just clearly stabbing and slashing or whatever, just like something in the distance. So, of course, the three of you hear that from the distance. You'll be able to be aware now that something is amiss inside of the house. Okay. At this point, the creature, I'm going to allow you. So you feel, Oswald, a sudden release. There's this awful vice-like tension as it's biting into your bone, and then suddenly just it opens its mouth and leans back. Leans as it kind of recoils, if you will. Its eyes roll back in its head. You'll be able to oppose with a dodge. If you don't, something bad will very likely happen. I'm using the same attack roll. And it has, at this point, I believe, 2 advantage. James, fact check me on that. I think that's right. 2?
Yeah.
Okay. So.
nope, no dice.
So Corbin, there before your eyes, the sack, this God only knows what this thing is, suddenly plunges inward as if drawn together with some sort of musculature, right? Just and issuing forth out of it is this massive gray, disgusting maggots and what have you. I'm gonna need you, Mr. Oswald.
We are being followed.
Hey, thanks for the follow. Who followed us? What's up, Melly667? Thank you for following us. Please, please, please give me a my resilience check here. I'm looking for my skill. What's my stat? Damn it, Rivers. For
It should be toughness for me if it's poison related or like
yes.
mag.
You got maggot related. Yeah, I'll explain in a second.
The poison maggot, they're kind of the same.
It's a poison maggot roll. This is the theme. The theme of this one is maggots. I love it. It's so awful. I'm sorry, guys.
That's whatever.
What the? All right.
You're not sorry at all.
So
It is what it is, man. I can't get any luck.
So as you're there, you're screaming in pain, right? This thing is just clamped down on your leg, and it's kind of lets go, and there's this as it vomits forth this sea of syrupy, snotty, disgusting ichor filled with maggots into your mouth, down your throat, and your stomach. You begin to vomit immediately, as you will, and roll off to the side. Corbin, what do you do? That is its attack. You witness this as this beanbag-sized sack is suddenly just emptied. Your friend is soaked in this horrific ichor. What do you do?
I am horrified.
Do you point and laugh?
Does the sack like deflate?
Yes, yes, it does. It absolutely does.
Is the creature still moving?
It is.
Is it still a threat?
This is milliseconds. What do you? Yes, yes.
I swipe at the creature to.
Okay.
I'm trying to drive it back if I can.
So there's a sizzling sound as the ichor that's kind of sprayed everywhere is kind of being burned by the fire. Did you roll me a D10 for the last one? Oh, no,
it was 7 the first time.
I think there's only been one D10.
Can you give me one more, please?
Yeah.
And Corbin, go ahead and make your roll. Thanks. Collaborative monster killing. It will not oppose this round because it is spent, as it were.
So I would no longer have initiative or no longer have advantage because I missed. Is that correct?
Well, yes. Yes.
Okay.
And it is still 2 to 1, such as it is. Yes, it is. Although Oswald's kind of like, yeah. Oh hell! Why don't you give me a critical roll, please?
How do I do that?
Criticals. So on a doubles, you roll. You have hit it in the left arm, but I will pick a body site because it's got a lot of left arms. So you're going to give me a D100 roll, and I will
just a straight D100.
Yeah, that's fine. You can also do. There's I'll show you later, Eric. There's a way you can trigger a script. I think it's like bang and then crit left arm or something. But if you just give me a D100 roll, it's fine. I'm looking at the table. So most of this thing is head. So as the halfling basically is, you're covered half in ichor as well. Your little furry feet are sticky and gross with this nasty worm-ridden soup. As you raise your dagger above your head with both hands and just slam it into the crown of this thing's skull. Its brain rattles in its skull, and what it would call blood spurts from its ears and what remains of its nose. It's deafened, bleeding, and will die momentarily. Halfling drops to his knees as this thing and one last little squirt of off to the side.
Oh God!
What do you do, Corbin? What do you do? How do you react to that? Your dagger's still in this thing's head. It's the first thing you've ever killed that wasn't a pastry.
Okay, I was trying to decide if I throw up or not.
Do you Rambo scream into the air or something? Like, what do you do, man? Pivotal moment. What do you do?
No, I just stand there looking self-satisfied.
So Oswald, you're covered in this stuff, and
I nodded Oswald.
Yes, you look up at him, and he just kind of looking satisfied, nods at you, and puts his dagger away. Still covered.
So the halfling, I know for a fact, just because of my thing with it, I'm like puking and like trying to get everything that's up and out of the inside of me, and I just reach up and grab he has like a flask of like egg, like a little mini keg, and I just like break the cork off of it, and I'm just chugging it and like gargling and just spitting it everywhere and like inhaling it and spitting it everywhere, and I'm like, and he's just grabbing his leg, and he's rolled over, and he's just like laying on the ground drinking this whole keg, and like forcing himself to throw up and just lays there for a minute as like the fire starts to pick up and he just doesn't eat. Like
so, the sizzling and popping of the creature, the flame dies down. The stench in here is overwhelming. So your companions, you wouldn't know this, of course. Companions, Grimwald, Geschwind, and Bartleby, rushing into the farmhouse. You're looking around. It takes you a moment from the sound, and literally just as you kind of connect with what's going on, and up there's light, and you see the halfling, like in slow motion, raise his dagger up, and because halflings aren't going to have a battle cry that's that impressive. Just,
yeah.
No, yeah. Battle squeal.
yes, just right through its skull. And you are now back on the scene, so you're welcome to move yourselves in. What do you guys do? So Bartleby, you're first on the scene. Rushing in and concerned about your friends, particularly, of course, Oswald, kind of looking around. You see what's going on. What do you do?
So Oswald is just retching, right?
Yeah, It's
totally
within seconds.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm gonna test this with a cool check.
Okay.
And I'm gonna give myself a -10. Yeah, Bartleby starts puking too. That's it. Can't stand the smell of it.
Well, it's not just the smell, Bartleby.
The sound of it. Yeah.
It's the slow motion drizzle that's coming off the edge there of the loft, slowly dripping down. Yeah, you drop to your knees and start vomiting. Grimwald, what do you do? And Geschwin, what do you guys do?
I climb up there to see if they need help.
So he calls up to you guys. Do you need help? So you hear this, Corbin, as you're just passing your sort of toughness check there. What do you do? How do you
Oswald needs help.
You climb up the ladder. Okay.
Oswald, at this point, his like half-burned clothes, he's just like removing everything but his like small clothes and just pulling everything off of him. He's like, he's just throwing up and like removing everything and like is looking for something to just dive in. Doesn't matter what it is.
Is there anything nearby that might have fluid in it that I could give him to?
Well, so he found it wouldn't have been necessarily carried on you casually, but yeah, he reached over and he found a small keg of some liquid. God only knows how long it's been there, and thank God it wasn't a bedpan. But
the only reason I even brought it up is because me and him are drinking buddies.
Exactly. So. But truthfully, yeah, he's found something and he's kind of guzzled it. It's basically a little kind of mini keg of water that's kept up here. The trouble is, as you climb up Grimwald, you reach the top and you realize, literally, think about it, a beanbag-sized amount of fluid here, sprayed out. So the floor is slick with this stuff. You get it on your hands and you literally you're just, oh God, what do you do when you get it on your hands?
I look for something to wipe it off and something to toss to Oswald to help him clean up.
You don't
like the sheet.
I was going to say there's a bed near us. Are there like sheets or some kind of blanket or something we could grab? And I'll grab that.
The beds are actually just sacks of sort of straw on wood frames. But yeah, there's a very thin quilt there on each of the beds that you can wipe yourself off. And there's as well, you notice there's a good sized foot locker. There are actually two of them, one near the larger bed and one between the smaller ones, just to kind of call that out. Geschwin, do you climb up? You see, kind of Grimwald, oh God, getting stuff on his hand.
Yeah, I'm kind of like crawling up and kind of come to the ledge and just like, what horror just happened here, and get to the top and kind of look around and say, I'm actually starting to like my idea about burning this place to the ground.
Oswald just...
I'll second that.
Like choking through everything, he just, I concur.
Nice.
Ours was bigger.
Bartleby will just throw a thumbs up as he continues to...
as Oswald, like, he like clambers on the ground just to right over here to this bed. He like takes the whole quilt and just like takes off all of the stuff. He even moves to the next one, takes off more of the stuff. Then he finally like goes over here to this one, and he like stripped completely naked, like you see full moon, full moon, everything. Like he just turns around, strips completely naked, and then grabs the sheet, the bigger quilt from that bed, and he's gonna make like a sort of toga out of it.
So
That's his clothes
Grimwald
now.
sees the gratuitous nudity, and he thinks, if my audio were better, that'd have nothing. But yeah, so you wrap yourself in bed sheet. That's fine. So let's give me.
I think
quickly,
I'm going to ignore the gratuitous nudity and check out the footlocker.
Yeah, because
That'll
you're
give me
short.
something to do.
You're short. You've got a different perspective on that gratuitous nudity than
That's
that
why I
nudity.
don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. It's over there. It's over
Bartleby.
there.
Bartleby, give me please.
There's a footlocker here. I want to. That's got my attention.
In and amongst your vomiting, please, Bartleby, give me.
Yep.
An easy, so you're going to have a plus 20 roll for perception.
Sure.
As whatever sort of toga party is going on upstairs, and you're bringing yourself. Oh wow!
All right.
So you're there on all fours. You're smelling this stench. You're overwhelmed by what you've seen, and something in your head is changing. Right at the corner of your eye, it's almost like calling to you. There. Spread out on the floor. It's very small, covered in dried pressed flowers. Sure. 10:53. We have a hard stop at 11 because I have to go do budget. Blech. I will tell you, however, what you find in the boxes if you want to search around a little more. And you can ask a couple more questions, but I want to... We got 7 minutes.
I just, what is it that I saw that was covered in crushed flowers?
A journal, a leather
like
journal.
a book?
Yes, a book covered in pressed
your audio
flowers.
cut out. I thought you said germ.
Yeah, it's a germ.
Yeah.
It's a pressed
Been there
germ.
and done that. And
Bartleby is
Oswald
patient
wants
zero.
No more of this. Oswald wants no more of this whole wild ride that he's on.
Oswald, you're there. You see again footlockers. Corbin, you're near one as well. Grimwald.
I'm gonna check them out.
How so?
Look for anything that could work as bandages or clothing for Oswald.
Oh, there's plenty of quilt to make into bandages. There's probably a towel or something downstairs. So the footlockers themselves. Who opens which one? Who opens one in the north? I'm guessing probably Corbin.
I'm gonna open the one I'm standing near. Yes.
Okay. So you open it, and it's got this very strong cedar smell to it, handmade. Interestingly, probably the anvil has something to do with this, right? It's clear that the iron is fairly primitive, the ironwork on this chest, but it's sturdy. It's admirable. You lift it, and with for your size, right? It's kind of heavy. There are small clothes here, teenage girl size.
Those won't fit Oswald.
No, God, no, please. Hey, so you kind of open that up. You root around in there.
Yeah, briefly.
Okay.
Kind of poke my dagger in there and move things aside.
How open are you about the things you find? You quiet about it? Are you? Hey guys, I found it. Or are you?
Depends on. I haven't found anything of interest yet.
Gotcha. I'm going to switch to Oswald for a moment. Oswald, you're sitting on the foot of the bed. You've gotten so you're covered. You smell of this ichor, this snotty ichor, and though you've wiped it off of you, it's kind of oily. As you're sitting there, looking at your hand, and you can see tiny black hair-like veins. They pulse briefly, very briefly, almost like you're not sure they're there, right? Your regular veins are larger and more vital. Then they go away. And as you kind of shake your head, you look over and there's a chest there. Looks like Dad's chest. It's a very... What do you do?
Cut out. You said it looks like Dad's chest, then I saw you.
Oh yeah, so I was asking, what do you do? And by the way, those of you guys who are on the bottom floor can be searching around as well. Oswald, what do? Do you open it?
Yeah, Oswald looks at his arm and he shakes his head like the black veins kind of pop, and he just is not gonna give that any thought at all, and he just looks for something to occupy him. So like maybe it's like an original. It's super ornate, right? Or like ornater than the other one, right?
Yeah, no, it's not ornate. These folks are not well off. No one in Feldweg is, but it's more formidable. So there's a drawer in the bottom that would open outward, and then of course above that is the sort of bulk area of the chest, and you can open that. So it's just a little more sort of formidable.
Yeah, cool. I will open the drawer first, and then open the lid.
You open the drawer in almost like slow motion, almost like a weird lighting. Like there's a strange maybe flickering of light coming from nowhere that suddenly shines on weapons. There are 2 hand axes there and a broadsword. These are old.
Oh.
They're incredibly old, not like mithril and like severing demon head old, but old, like military. Maybe when Feldweg was formed, kind of old. They don't make them like this anymore. There are 2 hand axes, 1 broadsword, and a quiver, which is surprisingly devoid of arrows. But it does have a fantastic etching of deer on it. You don't know where the bow. You don't know where the bow is. You can sell this.
Well, with my newly fashioned toga, I take the quiver, and Oswald's the type to pick up the broadsword, the broadsword and the axes. What's in the top?
You look them over. You kind of pick them up in turn. They're solid. You open the top. There's a divider in the middle, and there's decidedly the mother. Actually, interestingly, had what would appear to be sort of a leather, kind of almost like an armor-esque kind of sort of bustier sort of situation. All that in the appropriate wardrobe. Some dresses, some sort of folded up houseware, things like that. And on the men's side, father side, there's your sort of basic peasant garb. Sort of basic cloth pants that were clearly made on the loom, probably out in another part of the barn, and that sort of stuff. Basic clothing.
Yeah, Oswald, for when he can take a bath, he finds like a nearby rucksack, and he starts throwing all of his old shit in it, like all his bag, stuff like that, and it can be like a potato sack. And starts throwing these new clothes in it. He keeps his like toga. He has the quiver and all the weapons, and he's just like coming down the stairs or like walking past Corbin with all this stuff in his arms, and he's just like rolling his eyes. And like, he doesn't want to be in this room anymore.
Yeah.
Like maybe he gets to the top of the stairs or like to the ladder, and he just like almost slips on the slime and just as he like climbs down with all the stuff.
So you make your way out. So the hand axes, the swords, and kind of clothes, various things, kind of bundled up. There's no climbing down a ladder, so there's a bit of collaboration there that happens. So Corbin, you're looking in this chest, and you're kind of looking down, and there's clothing, and there's a couple little odds and ends of wooden toys. There's a carving of what looks like a little monster, right? Which almost causes you to shiver as you hold it in your hand and think about that. Monsters. They're fake, right? No one really sees monsters. But you also notice there's a little pouch in the corner of the chest, almost pressed into the corner of the chest, as if to hide it. What do? You see it, and it just looks good. You're on mute again.
I'll remove it.
Okay. See?
Check it out.
Okay, you take it. In this little pouch are some proper coins. We're not talking brass pennies here. We're talking gold coins. This is real money. You kind of glance around. Oswald is very busy right now with kind of walking past you with armloads of shit. There's no way he's noticing you. What do?
I stick it in a pocket for now.
Of course you do. Okay, good. Remind me to tell you how many are in there. Downstairs, there's a book. We're at 11:01. But there is a book. What do the rest of you guys do? So there's some kind of time spent here searching around, digging around these chests, probably 5-10 minutes or so. What are you guys doing with that time, Mr. Grimwald and Gesh? Bartleby's vomiting and reading a book.
Well, Bartleby will like crawl over.
He's
Take a break
like
from
this.
vomiting and crawl
He's like,
over. Yeah.
Excuse me. I'm reading about the complexity of advancement.
I'm just searching around as
system.
well, trying to take a look at like food, how perished it is, I guess, to see like how recent maybe these deaths were. And it looks like there might be additional foot lockers and things, so just kind of like not rushed, just kind of searching through it.
Give yourself.
I'm hoping the toga party is ending upstairs.
give yourself a plus 20 bonus, but please do make a perception roll for all that searching that you're doing, because I do have some things to share with you if you succeed. Bartleby, what did you say you're doing specifically with this book? I'm sorry. Do you want to spend a point or something, brother?
I mean, while they're searching upstairs, like Bartleby is just making a crawl, like. He's a drinking man. This is not an unfamiliar stance for him to be in.
Yes.
So he makes his way over and he sort of picks up the book. And you mentioned that it was covered in like crushed flowers. Are they like part of the book cover, or?
Yeah. So it looks like, and almost when you hold it, you feel how special it is. The front is actually the binding is made of wood and not leather, but crushed flowers kind of adhered to it with God only knows what. Hopefully not the stuff that came out of the pouch upstairs. But it's delicate and it's important, and there's a lot of pages there. They're of course more cloth than paper, right? But what do you do with it? When you kind of look at it in your hands, you can feel that it was special to someone.
Bartleby's gonna take that and put it in his pouch, like put it somewhere safe.
Okay, you
sort of secret it away.
Yeah, you slip it off to the side, and yeah, you feel good about that. Like it may be important. And then you kind of crawl out from the
can't read,
table.
So.
Oh shit! I forgot about that.
Nobody can read.
No.
So fucking hilarious. It's like the cover actually says instruction manual for tearing down scary dome. You wouldn't know it though.
Yeah.
Okay, so Geshwin, you wander around. You don't really notice anything super interesting, except that. There are things here, food, because you specifically called that out. There are some fish. Fish are very quick to rot, and they smell horrific when they do, particularly after a number of days. These are not that bad, and I want to say these, they're over here on the they're not that bad. There's some flies and shit flying around. But they should be more rotten if the bowl was that rotten.
Right.
Yeah.
I just kind of pass that along to everybody and just kind of speaking aloud, like, whatever this is must not have happened more than, I guess, like a few days ago, I would think. Perhaps this is related to the dome, because the dome's only been up 3 days, right?
Yeah, I believe it's been 3 days. That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just kind of like thinking aloud, talking to myself while I'm walking around.
The
not
bread,
finding cool stuff.
Maybe 4 or 5 days.
Okay.
The hearth to the south, as you're standing there, you can still smell, the fireplace smell, right? That very vague fireplace smell. The one thing that I will give you, even though you failed, is you're staring there into the hearth, and we're going to hard stop on the other side of this comment. There are clear scrapes in the stonework of the fireplace. Clear ones. A dark stain at your feet as you're standing there, almost directly beneath you. And like fingernail marks. Followed, there's a scrape, but then it's brownish. There are little fingernails laying on the wood, popped loose because of how hard they were being dug into the stone. And ladies and gentlemen, that was this episode of Tides of Nurgle. It's 11:06 p.m. Eastern Time. I think we got there. Sorry for the late start, everyone.
Yep. Apologies.
No. It actually wasn't
yeah.
you guys. It was a comedy of errors and comedy.
Yeah.
It was a comedy of whiskey. Let's go around the horn. James, how are you doing, man? You having fun? Is it good?
Feeling great, having fun. Yeah.
I'm going to buy you a microphone.
Just a 609.
You need to get a lapel mic because that would be like that's what Grimwald would wear. Like one of those, they're a TED Talk mic, like one of those flesh-colored TED Talk mics.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
That's what Grimwald would do. Corbin, how are you doing, man? You survive? Are you doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm a little surprised I killed the thing.
Was it a pivotal moment for the halfling? What do you think? Like,
It might have been, yes.
Did this define him? Is he going to be like a fucking murderer from here on out?
Halfling warrior.
Halfling serial killer would be even better. Geshwin, what about you, man?
Good. I feel like I somewhat made up for my previous blunders. Didn't quite seal the deal with the bull and keeping it locked in, but
We're going to call you Captain Crit is what we're going to call you, because that was a lot of succeeding.
Valiantly came together because of Bartleby, so we overcame that.
But the shovel idea was great.
For sure.
Tried.
Yes.
Sure.
Oswald, real quick, man.
Oswald.
How are you feeling? I'll tell you how you're feeling offline, physically, but how mentally? How did this?
Oswald is fucked, dude. He's in the hurt locker. That's all he is. Like he's the guy who takes the hard knocks in this group.
Shit.
At least from what I
look. At least this time it was from the enemy. That's good.
Yeah.
This is true.
Yeah.
Geshwind was far away.
So I would love it if anyone watching wants to contribute to what's wrong with Oswald. Give me some ideas. I know what I think is wrong with Oswald, but if you guys have a better idea than I do, I'm going to go with that, because Oswald definitely went through some shit, and it's going to follow him through the rest of the campaign. Bartleby, how are you feeling, man? So you were the new and improved beat-ass Bartleby. You got your shovel in a shovel holster. Is that a thing?
New and improved is like 1% higher chance to hit. Like let's, it's not like I came out of like the super soldier serum or anything. But I feel like my character has a little bit of development direction now, which is good. And I had fun this session, so yeah, that's all I can ask for.
Awesome. So for those of you who weren't around at the beginning, again, check out Slightly Salted Squad here on Twitch, because they do all kinds of cool game stuff. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. This will be up on YouTube in a minute. Also, we're going to finish out our Rules Bites series here for Warhammer, and actually John's got some cool stuff going on for Cyberpunk, not Cybersource. That's a different thing. Sorry, John.
Very different.
Yeah, it's
not talking about that.
Yeah, we're not talking about work. Sorry.
It's a separate channel.
Oh, God. So we're going to actually post that on Myth Brigade here. We've got the final edits in the works. I just need John to see them and approve them. And then, cool announcement. So I'm going to start a campaign, and I'm looking for volunteers to play it. It's going to be Savage Worlds, which is a super simple, really fast system. It's going to be, I told Jim earlier, Western, steampunk, horror, and comedy, which is sort of like what we're doing here, but it's Western. So don't. And you got guns. You can shoot.
6-gun.
Yeah. But it's some stuff we're doing. Actually, we're trying to work out with the folks over at Pinnacle Entertainment to actually sponsor some episodes so that we can give out gift codes for their badass products. So that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Any other announcements? You guys good?
Nah, I'm good.
Set.
Good.
Thanks, everybody.
Hey, watch
See
this.
you soon.
Wait. Shh. I'm gonna hit that button and it's gonna end. Roar.